Risk.
I would never do that. That's not in my game.
This time.
But this situation that has incensed Bournemouth as a club, because Bournemouth have slammed the FA Regulatory Commission after their player Tyrone Mings was handed a 5-match suspension for violent conduct. You'll probably remember the incident at Old Trafford at the weekend. It involved United's Zlatan Ibrahimovic, and Zlatan has been given a 3-match penalty, but it's a 5-match suspension for Tyrone Mings. The thing is, did he deliberately stamp on his head, or did he not? Damon on Twitter is saying, how could Mings have got anything less than 5 games? If Zlatan had moved his head an inch, he could have lost an eye. The intent was there, says Damon. Matt Taylor says Tyrone Mings, 5-game ban. Absolutely no one can categorically say that was intentional. It is a total disgrace from the FA. Matt Scott, where do you stand on this? I mean, looking at the incident again and again and again, I look at Mings, and Mings isn't looking at Zlatan.
Yeah, and I think that's a huge point in his favour. The difficulty is, and Matt Taylor's right to identify it, he uses the word categorical. Now, the problem is, in a court of law, there's no way, and Danny, I was talking to Danny about this off air, Danny said it would never have got to court, and I think he's probably right, but, in a court of law, the criminal threshold is the burden of proof has to be beyond reasonable doubt. So that's what Matt's talking about, categorical. Unfortunately, in sports law, unfortunately for Tyrone Mings, in sports law, it's the balance of probabilities. So they have gone on the balance of probabilities and said, well, we think it's implausible that you've managed to strike a man's head in that way without meaning to. Therefore, you get a 5-match ban because if you've stamped on a man's head, let's face it, that's worth the 5-game ban. There's no question about it. So the problem is that it's the burden of proof is so much lower. I personally wouldn't have given it to him. I would have argued in his favour. I don't think he's looking at it. I don't think there's any intent expressed on his face. And normally that, as I said in here before, normally that's betrayed. If you remember Ben Thatcher's elbow on Pedro Mendes, that's the kind of thing that you would expect to see. And you don't see that with him. You've said he's not that kind of player, whether or not that matters, it should be taken in mitigation, if nothing else. But, I don't see it. I really don't see it. But I can see why, if they think that he has meant it, it's gone to a 5-game ban.
Danny, I mean, these situations that can spring up in football. Can you second guess where Mings' head was at that moment? Is he looking for Zlatan's skull, or is he not? Is he trying to get back, having made, incidentally, a crunching, brilliant challenge on Rooney?
I like to think that I can normally tell if someone's done someone. And 9 out of 10, I think I could. On that one, I'd have to say, I can't tell for sure. My gut instinct, after watching it as many times as I did, on that day when I was working up in Manchester and we overanalyzed it to a degree, I don't think he did. My gut tells me he didn't. Now, where this is really bad is that if he didn't mean it, and he's now got to miss 5 games, there's something wrong about that. I don't know how... I'm not saying there isn't a chance he did, right? Because there is a chance, a little chance. I think it's doubtful, but there is a chance. And what they've done in terms of giving him this punishment is protected themselves from that's a disgraceful decision, not banning him, he definitely meant it. They've protected themselves from that and gone with the majority rather than just make a decision based on facts. Now, I don't understand how sports law can be different than normal law. I really don't, because...
it's the same as in a civil court versus a criminal court.
What we're saying is, he's guilty without being proven. It's not proven guilt.
Yeah.
So we're making him guilty without proof.
But this is what we
then hitting him with a punishment that in no way fits the crime.
And that is absolute nonsense.
But this is exactly... Do you remember, if you cast your mind back to John Terry's racism case? It went in front of the courts of law. He was exonerated in the eyes of the law, but he was given an FA ban because they felt on the balance of probabilities that he was guilty. So this does happen. This isn't an isolated incident, and there is that dichotomy between the two.
Bit different.
But here's the thing, though, Danny.
Oh yeah, but all
the
I'm
very
saying is
same
the same crime alleged in inverted commas.
Matt, no wonder Bournemouth are up in arms. They're 5 points above third from bottom Middlesbrough. And now they lose this boy for 5 games.
Having lost their goal scorer, Callum Wilson.
And they paid a fortune.
ACL.
There's got to be, if you've got clever lawyers, there's got to be a way around that.
Yeah.
Because you can't. I'm playing devil's advocate here, because if I'm the lad and I get 5 games for something I didn't mean to do, I'm saying to my club, you got to fight this.
Yeah.
You got to fight it.
Yeah.
Don't accept it and take it on a chin. I mean, they might, because they might say, well, they'll give you more games for arguing it. I would take it to the hilt.
Yeah. Paul, you're a Manchester City fan, but you've got something to say on this. What's your view of it?
Well, being a City fan, I could obviously be accused of having blue specs on here, but I mean, I think if Mings had decided to do Ibrahimovic, it wouldn't have just been a glancing blow on the back of his head, with his boot. However, having said that, if he had decided to do it, that was a split-second decision.
Yes.
That he had to make that decision that he was going to do it. Unlike Ibrahimovic, who clearly got up and had a little while to think about that he was going to do Mings back, and therefore, it was totally premeditated what he did, and potentially far more dangerous than a glance on the back of Ibrahimovic's head.
Yeah.
And so, to put that into context, 3 games for something that was premeditated with the use of an elbow with a fist drawn back, where we've seen a lot of players get seriously injured, doesn't seem to be right when Mings gets a 5-game ban.
Yeah.
For a split-second decision. If it was, and I don't believe it was.
Have you looked at it again and again, Paul, as I have done? I mean, someone on Twitter, there's no name to it, is saying, Jim, look at the clip again. Mings has a quick look at Zlatan just before he stamps on him. Just a little glance. I don't think he did, Paul.
Well, look, I mean, I haven't looked at it too much because I don't go out of my way to watch United too much. But what I would say is that, and I don't know, maybe people have picked up on this, but what did Mings do after he'd allegedly stood on Ibrahimovic? What did he do after that, straight after that?
He got on with the game.
Yeah.
He got up, and he cut out a ball that came across. Yeah. So
his mind's on the game, yeah.
So if he's having a look at Ibrahimovic, he's not looking at the ball. But literally, within a stride or so, he's cutting out a ball that's come back in again.
Yeah. He quickly gets on with the game. Jill from Orpington says, did Mings apologise or even look horrified at what he'd done? He just got on with the game.
Probably didn't even feel it.
No.
Probably didn't even realise.
No. And the thing is, Zlatan's head is a long way off the floor. He's a big lad and he's looking up and it's a hurdle. He doesn't break stride. For me, he didn't mean to do it. It's quite simple.
I think the only little bit where this is really hard to judge, that when you hurdle someone and because everyone's different with this, and this is the problem, when you hurdle something or someone on a pitch and you're going to land on one foot, some people land differently than others in terms of the pace they land. So some people are soft-footed and some people are heavy-footed. So when you do your cone work and your hurdle work pre-season or warm-ups and all that, you'll get the fitness guys going, softer feet. Some people spring over things. Some people are... So as he goes over him, maybe like the fact his landing is quite firm and quick.
Yeah.
Like it looks like he's gone bum, as if... Rather than a softer, I'm trying to think of a player who hurdles softly, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. Raheem Sterling would.
Defoe is a good one at it. He kind of softly goes,
Yeah.
It's quite technical, but the way you land gives people the perception that you might have intended that when you didn't.
Yeah.
And that's what's done him, I think. But
I know he's been hit hard by it.
I don't understand it. I can't get it.
Well, I think now it's how far are Bournemouth prepared, or
they're angry.
How far can they take it? That's the thing.
Risk. I would never do that. That's not in my game.
This time.
And the rest you can keep. And the rest you can